So a couple months back, I did a video about Red Seal exam. After getting all the comments and feedback from you guys, I decided to do the video again. So in this video, I'm going to cover all the details that I missed in that video. So I'm going to cover all the bits about Red Seal process. And without wasting more time, let's get straight into this video. So the first question is, what is Red Seal certification? So Red Seal is also known as Certificate of Qualification. So this demonstrates that you have knowledge and skills to work in the trade that you are certified in. For certain trade, it's compulsory for you to have it, but for the other trades, it's voluntary, such as cook and baker. And for the compulsory trade that you have, automotive technician and other technicians. It looks something like this. So I have mine one from Ontario, but each province have their own criteria for granting the certification, and it may look a little different from this one, and it's good to have it. So the second question is, what's the benefit of having Red Seal certification? So if you're working in a compulsory trade, you have to have it to work in those trades. But for all the non-compulsory trade, it gives you advantage if you're applying for the job, whereas 100 or 1,000 people are applying for. It gives you bonus points. In certain positions, they always mention that if having a Red Seal certification is an asset, and all the other positions such as in healthcare, in Toronto, if you want to work in sick kids, Sinai Health, Sunnybrook hospitals, it's mandatory for you to have a Red Seal certification to work there as a cook. And for other benefit, if you're applying for permanent residency in Canada, it gives you 50 points in your express entry. And the last benefit I think would be you could go to any other province and work in the trades that you are certified in without any issue. So it gives you a mobility to transfer your skills to any part of the country. So the third question is, what are the requirements for you to have a Red Seal certification? So there are two ways for you to get this certification. So first is assessment. The second one is apprenticeship. For the assessment, you have to have completed 6,000 hours and also need to complete all the competencies that are listed by Ontario Skilled Trade. And you also need to have a formal education, which covers all the topics that are required by the certification board. For the apprenticeship, you need to find a sponsor that could train you, and you need to be get paid while you training. So you need to find the employer that could pay you and train you, and you also need to complete education part of it. So after that, you get a apprenticeship certificate, and then you could use that to get into the Red Seal examination. For assessment, you need to send your documents to Skilled Trade Ontario. After getting approved by them, you could sit in the examination, and then you could get your Red Seal certification. So the next question is, what kind of documents that you require for the assessment? For the assessment, I got an email from Skilled Trade Ontario, the body that usually conduct these exams. So when I uploaded my documents, I got an email from them that is stating the specific document they want from me. So these documents look like this. So you have a job letter that needs to mention your working hours, your duties, what kind of work your company involved in, and all the other things. So in the end, you have a cap letter which need to be initialed by your supervisor, which demonstrate that you have all the competencies and skills according to the Trade Standard Act. So now let's talk about the preparation of exam. So for the exam, I used 3 books. I have it right here. Let me show you guys. This one is Professional Cooking by Wayne Gislin, 9th edition. This is the one that helped me to pass this exam. So I read this book cover by cover. And another one is right here. I have it here. Another one is this one. I found this useful to get an idea what kind of question that I could expect in the exam. But now it's expensive. It used to be $25 when I bought it, but now it's somewhere around $75. This one, personally did not find any helpful for the exam, I think I read all 400 questions, but wasn't any useful when I was doing the exam. So after doing all the hard work, you get to the examination part. So in the examination, you get 150 MCQ questions and you get 4 hours to do it. And you don't have to do any practical exam or anything in Ontario. I'm not sure about other provinces, which I believe are relatively same to Ontario, but you need to do your research if you are in a different province. But in Ontario, you don't have to do any practical exam except the theoretical exam. So in the examination, it covers 13 different topics. So the first part is hygiene, sanitation, and safety, which weighs around 13 points. And the second one is common occupational skill, which weighs around 11 points. And the third one is produce, which weighs for 12. The fourth one is stock, broth, and soups, which weighs for 12. And the fifth one is sauces, which weighs for 13. And the sixth one is cheese, dairy alternatives, eggs, and egg products, which weighs for 10 points. And seventh one is pasta, noodles, stuffed pasta, and dumplings, which weighs for 10. And the eighth one is grain, pulse, seed, nuts, and alternative protein, which weighs for 11 points. And the ninth one is meat, game, poultry, game birds, variety meats, which weighs for 16 points. 10th one is fish and seafood, weighs for 15 points. 11th one is salad and sandwich, weighs for 9 points. 12, it's specialty preparation, which weighs for 8 points. 13 is sweet and savory baked good, which weighs for 10 points. So you only require 105 marks to pass this exam out of 150. So it's not that hard to get it if you've been working in a trade for 2 or 3 years. And for the tips and tricks, so exam is 4 hours long, so make sure you read everything clearly. And you need to get a both dictionary, French and English. So certain questions that you're going to get in French, so you can translate the word into English and you're going to get an idea of what they are talking about. For me, I had a couple of questions where they mentioned something in French, so it means like a dish like pomme or something, which pomme means potato in French, I believe. So when I translated that into English, I got an idea like what is it all about. So I take the right answer, and you get your results within 5 to 6 days. So usually it's say 10 days, but you get it within 5 or 6 days, and then you move on to your life. I wish you best of luck for your examination or your for whole journey. If you need any information from me, please drop a comment. I would most likely to reply that in within 2-3 days. Thank you very much for watching this video. Stay tuned for the next video, and you could also check out my other video that where I mention how to apply for apprenticeship and how to apply for assessment. Thank you very much. Thank you for staying in. Have a good one.